after grabbing her snack. It's being live streamed.
Huh. That's weird.
Okay. So I sent the minutes to everybody. Okay, now the rabbi died out.
No, the rabbi didn't die out.
He didn't. He just disappeared.
Wait.
Okay. It's all right. I know what you look like.
Okay, wait.
Okay. Summer is there. Pat's there. Jacques is there. Joyce, Gary, and Dottie is behind on it. She's under the pillow. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have attendees at the meeting and all that we're going to get, I assume. First of all, I don't know if Nancy is having she said she's not coming. Do you know of her having any serious problems right now? Jacques?
Ask again?
If Nancy's having problems.
No, I don't know. I haven't heard from her.
Okay, and I got a message that Anita Hampshire was in the hospital last Sunday, which Rabbi got also.
I saw her.
Did you find out anything about her?
No, I think she was back home, right? Yeah,
I think she's back home.
Okay, I tried to reach her and could never do that. All right, so at least most everybody is likely alive. Good.
And tomorrow, Gary and I are going to see the Bortniks. And tomorrow I'm going to see Sheila and Marvin Aaron at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Marvelous. Where are they?
They are in a place on Warnow called Kingswood something.
Be sure to tell them we all say hello. We've missed them.
Sure will.
Absolutely. And while you're there, elect them. Okay. So I sent the minutes to everybody for the meeting. Did you get them yet?
Well.
And basically, it didn't. I will summarize quickly what it said. We rewrote them a bit. And it said that the March minutes were voted in April. It said financially we had $1,791 in the bank, and we hadn't sent any bills since last September. It said that that money was borrowed from the rabbi's discretionary fund, but I don't know whether he first loaned $1,000 and then more to pay, which was used to pay Theo. But Pat will straighten us out about all of that. We had a Passover Seder. We had a guest speaker, Fayed El Fahuri, who was interesting, and we continued the long discussion over dinner at the at Crushed Red. Okay, the annual meeting was scheduled for 2nd of June. And I stated that I was resigning as president at the end of this term, and instead was elected shamas, which is a position on a committee as established. And the shamas is supposed to help people out, but not responsible for leadership because I'm no damn good. All right.
You are plenty good. Don't knock yourself out. That's my job.
No. I'm proud of being an idiot. It is my pride. And you all read the definition of what a shamas is basically helps out. All right. So that do we have any motion to approve the minutes of last meeting?
I'll move. I move to approve.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Great, passed. All right, we did it. Next, the agenda. We have the next thing. Pat has, or the yard site letters have been sent out by Pat, right?
Yes, I sent the yard site letters last week. I don't remember which day it was. The yard sites for June. Yes. Yes.
Okay. And as far as we know, the thank you letters have not gone out. And that was something that actually Dottie volunteered to send those thank you letters out. And if she's well enough, the thank you letters for the gifts. And Dottie offered to do that. Gary, do you think she'll be able to do that?
No.
No. Okay.
Anita wants to do it.
Yeah.
The last time I spoke to her, she wants to do it. And I have to be real honest with you here. She sends them if I remember to send her a letter, which I usually do, but I'm quite certain there have been a couple that I've missed accidentally, because Anita doesn't like to do email. I think that's safe to say. And we found that if I literally mail her a letter that says, send a thank you note to Joyce Phillips, here's her address, I believe she does it. But if I have been delinquent and not sent a letter, then obviously she has no way of knowing she's supposed to. So I think I have to take part of the blame here for letters that may not have been sent.
Well, I must say that it sounds like a little cumbersome to send a letter to somebody to send a letter to someone else.
It is cumbersome, John.
Yeah.
It would be easier to send an email, but sending an email to her isn't always assurance of getting it done.
No.
If I can't send it to her, I have to send it to Mia. And then, of course, that depends upon Mia printing it and taking it upstairs to her mom. And
this is something for a new president to solve.
yeah, we will. It actually could fall on the secretary to do it.
No, I think that the new president can enlighten everybody whenever we can find one.
Okay. Well, we'll figure it out.
Yes, but I must say that this operation is really runs slick. That's for sure. That's all I can say. We do pretty good, right? So the thank you letters, I think you need some help, Pat. And basically the addresses of everybody. Oh, somebody turn off your phone or mute yourself. Either the I don't know. It seems that this is something that should be easily solved. That's all.
Yes, if we find someone who will do the job and who can respond to email, that would make it the easiest thing, because it's really easy while I'm sitting here.
Right, to send the email out to the address, because we have the addresses and all.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but at any rate, let's defer that for the moment because it's not smoothly moving yet. The treasurer's report, you sent us how much money we got now?
Yeah, well, I didn't get it sent to everyone, but I will tell you that as of this afternoon, our checking account contains $3,479.78, so just short of $3,500.
Okay, and that's basically 3 months we have not paid the rabbi, right?
Oh yeah, among other things, yes.
Okay.
We haven't paid rabbi. I did send bills to every member last week, and then I had a couple left over that I sent yesterday. So they've all gone out to everybody. Everyone who is a member, legitimately a member, has been sent a bill. So I'm just expecting to be overwhelmed with money in the next couple of weeks, coming in.
All I can do is I'll hope to be able to help you shovel it into the bank if it's too heavy.
Yes. So the other half of my report has to do with what I call pending disbursements. We have money that we should be spending. I mean, we have expenses. One of which is the pantry. We've talked about this before. Sally had set aside just short of $367 in December, but we didn't have the money to send to them. So since then, we've had just over $371 additional come in. We have exactly $738 that should go to the pantry. And I need some discussion about whether or not we should now send that since we have some money. Also, the rabbi gave us from the discretionary fund this $1,000 to use to open a savings account, which we didn't do because we had to use $1,000 for bills. So we need to consider whether or not we want to now take $1,000 of what we have and open a savings account. My comment on that, I'm not making these decisions, you guys are, but my comment about the $1,000 is once we put it in a savings account at Bank of America, it becomes unavailable to us essentially because it requires that amount to keep the account open so that we aren't given a monthly charge on our checking account.
Right.
So are we willing to do that with $1,000 of the amount that we have? That's what I need you to consider. And then the third option, the third item I would bring up is Theo. In February, I cut him a check for $975, and that was to pay him. My understanding of it, and I think his understanding was that paid him for the first quarter of this year, assuming we're going by calendar year.
Wait. I paid him a Passover.
Right, that's the second point,
For
Rabbi.
up until
Yeah, Pat paid first, now the second one is you.
Yes, how much did you pay him, Rabbi? Do you remember?
900,
900?
something like that.
Well, then that means we give him 300 for a seder, I believe.
Probably. And it was 600 for service. Yeah,
so we really would owe him, for second quarter, we would still then owe him 375 if 975 is the correct amount for a quarter. Am I right in thinking that?
I have no idea what he gets paid.
Well, historically, he's gotten 975 per quarter, according to Sally's records.
But wait, it's not like that. He gets paid for every time he comes. Doesn't come, he doesn't get paid.
No, well, I don't know, because nobody ever gave me the rules. I just looked and saw that that's what he was getting. So,
well, no, I'm telling you, it's like this. When he comes, he gets paid. When he doesn't, he doesn't. And
exactly, I understand that.
And I paid him, I think it was 900, or I can maybe go there and check again, but whatever it was, I must be some communication.
But that was for the second quarter.
I think he was asking for it early because
he did. And so that was the second quarter. And basically, he was paid for the first quarter without consciously not paying for times when he didn't come, at least one. The second quarter he asked for early, which is what the rabbi gave him. Right?
I pay him the seder and whatever he told me was owed up until that date.
Okay, so maybe he was giving you, well, I'll have to go back and look at it. Is there an agreed upon amount per week that we're supposed to pay him? And is that written somewhere?
70, is it 75, John?
Yeah, 70. I think he gets $75 each time.
I think that's right.
Okay. All right, well, let me go back and see what I can figure out as to how much we owe him. And then I would like to get him on some kind of regular schedule. It makes the treasurer's job a lot easier if you know when you're going to have to pay money to somebody. You know,
Well, it was, of course, on an auto pay, but then when we ran out of money, we couldn't do the auto pay.
well,
But
I don't think auto pay is good when we're expecting not to pay for him on weeks that he doesn't show up.
you're
Because
quite
it's
right. You're
Yeah,
quite right.
so we should it should be a check that the treasurer sends. I mean, have the bank do it, but yes, so that he gets paid the amount that he is owed. Right, correct?
Okay. Pat, could you just email Theo and ask what he has received so far and what does he think he is owed? And that
Yes,
might
I
help
can
him.
do that if I had his email address. Does anybody have it?
Okay, I do. I'll send it to you. I send it
That
to
would be
you.
great, and then I'll contact him and we'll figure out.
Yeah, that's good.
And then will somebody give me the authority to talk to him about a regular schedule for his payments? And
Well,
then-
he was getting it at the end of he was getting it for each quarter, except that he needed it early this time, and that's why the time went out.
But I don't know what his quarters are. Are they the calendar year or are they our fiscal year?
I think they're January through March, but I'll give you his email. You'll ask him for sure. But you scared this. The first thing you discussed is the $1,000. It does not make sense to pay $15 every month for our checking account. And so if we go ahead and put the 1,000 in there,
Right.
then it's going to happen. And so our priorities in payment apparently are Theo, whatever is true, and second is other essentials, and third is the rabbi who we keep cheating.
But wait, if you need another $1,000 to open this,
Right.
I'll
Yes.
lend you from the discretionary fund. I don't care
So,
because you're making 18% a year.
So what we want to borrow from the rabbi is another $1,000 for the savings account, because the one he loaned us before was used to pay Theo.
are you sure we don't want to use $1,000 that we already have in checking?
Well, it doesn't matter. As long as we can pay what we need to. Number one is Theo.
Yes.
Number two is other essentials.
Yes.
And the third is the rabbi. That's all.
Okay, so we have just short of $3,500. If we
Yeah,
set
okay.
aside however many hundred for Theo, we
Yeah.
still would have enough to take $1,000 and open the savings account if that's what you guys decide you want to do. I don't care. I'll do what you tell me to do.
Well, it was already voted on 2 months ago. But it voted to do that. But then the $1,000 that we borrowed got paid for Theo. But since you have the 1,000, I'd go ahead and do it. It doesn't need another vote.
Okay,
Yeah. And we do need data from Theo for sure. What, any other things about our treasury that we need to know, Pat, except that thank God you're trying to do it?
no, I'm trying to get it organized. It's,
Yeah,
as I have said before, I'm not an accountant and I don't always understand the accounting rules and the way that Sally had things set up. I'm trying to reorganize it in a way that makes it,
it should make sense for sure.
it
Yeah.
makes, it will be logical, but it won't be complex. I hope.
Okay, that's good, wonderful. And anything I can do to help you, I will do it whenever you wish.
Oh, trust me, I'll ask you for your
In,
help.
in,
I'll
in
ask
my
all
new
of you for help.
position as shamus.
Okay. So who has experience in accounting now? Nobody
What do
wants
you
to
mean
raise their
experience?
hands.
We wing it. We wing it all the way. Over.
All right, that's all I have to say. I will open the savings account. I will contact Theo. And anybody
The
want
third question
to
is
talk about the
the
pantry?
pantry.
Because that's $738.
I think that the pantry, I would suggest that we wait till after the next meeting to find out if anybody's paying their dues at the beginning of this next year.
Okay, what I wish I could do, and maybe this is not possible, I wish there were some way to literally isolate the money that we take in for the pantry.
Well, it
As
is.
it is, it gets dumped into our checking account, and then it gets used for things that are urgent, and we don't ever give the money to the pantry, which is what people have earmarked their donations for.
Look,
Right.
perhaps, and I don't know if it's a stupid suggestion, but just based on my experience, is there are some banks that have free accounts. I don't know, again, why Bank of America, who's the scum of the earth, but for instance, Harvest Bank has free checking accounts up the yazoo. You know, I mean, you can.
Well, the thing is that it has to be a business account, supposedly, because there's multiple people joining it. And I haven't checked, by the way. I just took out accounts in both Lead and Alliant banks, and in Lead may very well allow that. And it's of course free. I mean, it's $100 for a checking account, but they may require, if you have multiple signatories as a business account, they may say something different. I'll ask them. But because I'm trying to move away from Bank of America myself, of course, you don't need a sub account as long as your records clearly show that we owe what we do to the food bank, right?
Well, that's true, but if we don't.
Well, we're going to. It's just that we need a month I would not send it before.
Okay, that's fine.
Then June 1st, you know.
Yeah, that's fine. Because if I send that and if I use $1,000 for the savings account, and then I still have to set aside money for Theo, I don't want to come up short. That's my concern.
I think you'll probably be well enough by then.
Okay.
I think that through June you would be.
We'll get it.
And again, thank God you're doing what you can.
Does anybody know why Sally moved our account to Bank of America?
Yes, because it was nearby her and she thought it was fine, and she thought she had a relationship with them, but she still didn't like them anyway. And I'm trying to get away myself, but my reasons are primarily for the environment, not for my own inconvenience. I've got 5 accounts, or I've had 5 accounts, and it's worked fine, but you just have to know to deal with them. And I think, though, that a sub account separate for the pantry is all it is paper, right?
Okay, well, then
and
I guess.
And as long as you can keep track of that amount that we owe the pantry, you don't need a separate account to.
No, I didn't ever want to set up a separate account. I think what behooves me to do is to know how much we have taken in for the pantry and do my very best to keep that much money in our checking account.
Well, and if we don't, we still owe it because that's in the list, right? Yeah.
I just don't want it to get shunted aside.
No, it won't get shunted aside. And besides, they got a whopping extra gift last year that we know of, and that was, and so they probably are going to be alive for another month or so. And besides, some of us actually make our contributions in a different way to food pantry and family services, et cetera. So I'm hoping that as a congregation, we try to do what we can, but don't starve ourselves to death.
Okay, I'll take care.
Any other treasury issues that we need to deal with, Pat?
No, no.
Okay. Next on the agenda is, I believe the annual meeting is June 2nd. Is that too soon to have a potluck also, even though you're having one next weekend? Any thoughts?
Maybe. Maybe it is too soon. I don't know.
Did we put it off a little later?
Somebody else must have an opinion. I can't be the only one.
Should we put it off a little later than June 2nd?
I think it's too soon.
Well, we should probably get our annual meeting pretty close to the beginning of the year, though.
When do we have a potluck scheduled besides the one for the annual meeting?
Well, we have one scheduled for next weekend, a week from this Friday.
Not the Shabbat, the next one.
19th. Is that right? Yeah.
And who is the guest speaker? I don't have that.
Dr. Mark Hudson,
Okay.
who's a professor of religion at JCCCC, was Raquel's teacher. Great guy. He's talking. I remember. Wait, I'll tell you 1 minute what he's going to talk about.
So we're talking Friday, Saturday, the 20th of May.
No.
19th.
Friday night, the 19th.
Oh, it's on Friday, the 19th. So that's right after services then.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, the potluck is, yeah.
You know what? I told Roseanne, I have it now.
What?
Right here. What he's going to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Just a minute.
So here's, so it would be-
Addressing the big questions, you know, along the lines of philosophy of religion. I think he'll be interesting. He's a nice man. I like him a lot. He was there at the sede.
Okay. So I think the issue of the, and that's established, it's already, she sent out the request for people to attend it. And so the question is, if I think the board meeting, the annual meeting should be pretty close to the beginning of the year. And if you really need to move it another week on, we could do it. But I think probably the annual meeting should have a potluck involved, since that's the only thing that drags bodies out of the gutter.
Or maybe go eat somewhere else. Like, what's the place that has the Italian food? Cinzetti.
Cinzetti's. Okay, we can do that too, whatever you want. I mean, but
It's food, it's predictable, it's not that expensive.
no. And the other thing about the annual meeting is we don't have a whole lot of business to do except to give our reports, because the vacancies on the board and the presidency and anything else can be done by the board according to the bylaws. And the only thing is, we'd love to have people volunteer to be positioned on the board, and I don't get a whole lot of feedback so far. I will send out a message requesting it.
Calendar, give me some dates.
I'm sorry?
Nothing. Denise talking.
But I didn't hear what it was.
No, it wasn't about this.
Okay.
She was on the phone.
Does anybody else have any opinion about whether the annual meeting should be with Cinzetti's or try that too?
Wouldn't it be easier if we did the whole thing together instead of going there and had the food with the meeting like we've done before?
Yeah, it might be.
Wouldn't it be easier on everybody?
Okay.
We
Just
could-
my thoughts.
We could defer
Right.
the meeting until the 9th.
I have no objection. Does anybody else have any opinions on the subject?
That's fine.
I'm assuming that June 9th is not is there anything really important happening?
You're moving it to June 9th instead of June 2nd?
Well, that's what I'm hearing a thought about.
Seems okay to me.
So moving it to 9th. Okay.
Okay, so the annual meeting will be the 9th. Okay, so next we've got to go back and find out what we're going to do next. All right, the board. All right, there are several vacancies on the board, and Anita, after 5 years now, will no longer be vice president. And I don't see anything that requires that we have to have a vice president. Is that, am I wrong? Does anybody have any different ideas? So but we do need somebody to do some of the secretary that Pat has gotten overloaded with, and we need a new president for sure. And I have heard rumors that for president, Gary Mincy, the handsome youngster over in my left corner, is willing to take that on, as long as he's got a shamus supporting him and a treasurer supporting him and a rabbi who will sympathize with him.
True.
Basically.
And so that would be a nomination. I have wanted to get Summer on the board, and now she sees what a disaster this thing is.
Now that we frightened her away.
Well, the only thing is that, as she can see, if you accomplish anything in this world and see how much you're needed, you're more likely to accept it. How
Summer
about that?
would be a great addition.
I would like to see
We
that.
really need some young ideas,
Yeah.
instead of all of us old fogies.
Albert has said he would like to join the board.
Okay. Albert would like to join again, and he's
Yes.
not been in for 2 years. Then
Right.
that's fine. Now, as I recall, we had a little bit of a problem with Albert, though, because one of the conditions of being on the board is that you not miss more than 4 meetings.
I talked to him about that.
And
And
I think
he missed about 11 out of the 12 when he was on the board.
unjustified missing.
Right. Well, but if a person doesn't see clear that they're likely to be able to, then it would be silly to accept it.
Exactly. But I talked to him about that, John. And he
Okay.
assured me that he would be at the meetings. That's just what he told me, because I asked him.
Well, that's great. You see, it's your power of persuasion, Gary.
No, I doubt that.
Yeah, it must be. Did you promise him to be able to play with your dog too?
Yes.
Good. I knew you had to throw something else in, as well as an AK-47.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Well, that's nice. And so are there any other people that we think of that need to be joining us to participate?
I've been trying to get a hold of Martha Katz. I haven't been able to get a hold of her. I've left messages, but I know she's either out of town or tied up, but I thought about seeing what she thought about it, about becoming a board member again.
Well, wonderful, but again, the same criteria should
Right.
remain.
Right.
That people come and not be absent. And again, she had the same problem. And of
I
course,
know.
Well,
You're right.
I think
it wasn't her health at that time.
No.
no, because she was very busy in New York building up the business that
Our
she was doing
business.
the app.
Right.
I think now issue is solved.
Yes, it is. They don't
Okay.
do that anymore.
So if you don't object, I would talk to her about it. I'm still going to try to get a hold of her if everybody thinks that's all right.
It's a great idea.
Okay.
That'd be good. And
Okay.
so what are the things that we're still looking to get solved tonight?
I have two items or small ones, but I must tell you about.
Sure.
One is just actually interesting enough, just got an email, a play. I don't know how, I didn't know about this before. It's going to be this Saturday or Sunday, about Eddie Jacobson, who was friends with President Truman. It's the guy. I happen to know some people here in town who apparently really know the story of how Truman came to vote for Israel. And there's two presentations. One is at Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and the other is at Sunday at 2 p.m. And if we can be quick, and send people, maybe you can get like at least a bunch of seats together. I think it'll be very interesting because the romantic story that you hear about the friendship between Truman and Jacobson, and that's why Truman voted for the state of Israel against the wishes of the State Department. It's not necessarily true, but but still a very good story. I think
can we have access to how you can find out to sign up for it?
I'm gonna forward this to whom? To John.
And I would say Sunday afternoon would be better.
Yes. So I'm sending this to you, John. You have a look, send to everybody else and to Roseanne, wherever.
I'll send it out. Okay.
But we need to move quick.
I'll send it as soon as I get it.
This coming Sunday?
Yes. Yeah. I'm surprised that I missed the ball. I blew it because.
Where's it going to be at what time?
It's going to be at 2 p.m. at the theater here at the JCC, and the guy who's going to be, it's a one-man show with a guy by the name of Victor Rader Wexler, who is a guy who portrayed Dr. Wexler on Seinfeld, there's a guy who was on Seinfeld, and then he was also on Friends, important shows, Anyway.
You say this Sunday?
This Sunday.
Isn't that Mother's Day?
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's also the Hadassah Nurses Council walk. You all are coming, of course, to support me.
If it's not at 2 o'clock.
What time are you walking and how long will you be walking?
Only an hour and a half, 9:30 to 11. It's at Gazer Park, 133rd.
I'll be there with Raquel.
Okay, good.
Sure. Okay.
9:30.
Second thing, and I just want to rush to tell that to John, I'll tell everybody. I try to be a decent human being, and I have a special soft place in my heart for Jews in small communities because I know how hard it is to be a Jew in a small community. So I reached out to Springfield once to tell them, if they needed something. Again, I'm not looking for business. I'm not looking for them to call me to do funerals or anything like that. But if they're in a bind, or if they want to sign up and watch our services online, cost us nothing, just helping these people. And they, the president was very grateful. I exchanged a few messages with her. Now she sends me a note passing me to the new president because apparently her term is up and there's a new president. So now introducing me to this another woman. And so I've been in touch with them. And now today I received 2 requests from 2 members of the congregation there in Springfield asking for our link to log in for Shabbat. I think, as here's the deal. As we deepen this relationship, if they use it, if it doesn't occur to them to have the cycle to say, let's send Temple Israel a donation, maybe if things move, we could ask. And then I also told them, again, I'm not looking forward to schlepping to Springfield for funerals or stuff like that. And I'm not looking for business, I'm busy. But if you're in a total bind, let me know. And, and I'll have no problem collecting for my transportation, whatever fee they pay me, I'll kick it back to the temple.
We have other members who do pay dues who don't live here. And so.
Yeah, but they have their own temple. The only thing, for God's sake, the only thing I threw in, I say, look, again, I'm not looking for business, but if you happen to have a burgeoning, busting out of the seams rabbinical budget, since you're not spending money in a rabbi, and you want to invite me for a scholar in residence weekend, I am happy to do that. That's what the gelt is made.
Okay. Well, at any rate, it sounds interesting. I don't know what we're supposed to do about it.
I'm just going to send you, John, both emails and let you reply to them.
Okay. All right.
I
And
just want to mention one more thing. On Thursday, the 25th of May at 9 p.m. on PBS, there's a program called Jews of the Wild West.
yes, we're watching it, and I'm going to record it. Wonderful. Thank you.
If you could
Send me a
pass
link to it.
Pass that along. It's just in the the TV menu from
It's on PBS at 8 o'clock.
PBS. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock.
Oh, 9 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah, I was surprised. I don't know. I think I would check in at 8 just to make sure, because usually when it says 9, that's usually Eastern time. But anyhow, I'm going to try to watch it. It looks like it should be pretty interesting.
Which day is it?
It's on Thursday, the 25th of May, 9 p.m. on PBS.
Tape it for me.
Yeah. So, is there any other issues we need to take care of? There's a little minor things for our emails. I will give to Gary the president email and login, and try and keep the official business on the president's email, Gary.
Okay.
Because it will get lost in your personal emails, and I wanted to get back the treasure when I tried, but Sally apparently not only changed the password, but changed the backup email, so I no longer have control of it, and I've asked her to give it up. But I think that at least our official functions for the temple should stick to our official email accounts, so they don't wind up mixed up with with Aunt Sally's rumors about what the rabbi was really doing last week.
I might need a little help with that on how to do it. But,
well, it's very simple, Gary. All it is an email that and I give you the login and you log into it. Okay?
Okay.
Do board members who are not officers have access to the temple email address?
Not the president. No, they don't have. They don't have access to it. They don't have logins to it.
That's what I meant. I didn't phrase it.
No, I've given it to the rabbi. I've given it to Pat, the page of logons, but that's presumably the executive committee has access to this. But again, I will give it to Gary, and since I put them in the first place, hopefully I can get that treasure one back. And when somebody's willing to say, I'm willing to be a official secretary, then they would have that too. But I think we should probably keep our emails that are official for the temple to those logons, right? And now Pat, of course, sends me everything on both, and I sometimes forget an answer from my own, but then I quickly forward it. But I think if we stick to our own business versus our personal business, it's probably looks a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm hoping to get that back from Sally. I didn't realize she had done that. And I'll get it to Pat. And you still have, of course, the secretary email, don't you, Pat?
Yeah, I don't know what the password is, but I'll try to figure it out.
Oh, you have it. You have it, and I'll give it to you again.
Well, because it automatically populates. That's why I don't know what it is. I set
Okay.
it.
All right. Okay. Well, that's good. That's wonderful. Is there anything else we need to solve for this evening?
John, is
Yeah.
somebody going to send out an email to the board, to the congregation about the meeting change?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And I will also put in the message, anybody who would like to serve on the board and recognize that the coming is a great idea, and we don't tolerate deadbeats.
So when we have the annual meeting on the 9th, are we planning to, we're going to have a potluck that night? Is that the idea? Or are we going to go?
I think so, yeah, because that's why we delayed it a week.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Well, I didn't know if we were going to do that or if we were going to go.
Well, it is true that having a potluck is easier to talk about the history, the last year's history of the temple, et cetera, and passing torches than doing it at Cinzetti's.
Yes. Okay.
Where will we have it? At the church?
We'll try and get it at Rolling Hills and see if it's okay
Okay.
with them. And I'm assuming somebody's already done something about the one that is next week at the potluck, because I wasn't told to do it. So I don't know whether that was cleared with the church. I normally do that.
Denise says it has not been clear with the church.
Okay, I will ask them, and basically they need to get in that evening, right? I'll ask them, okay? And everything I'm copying to Gary, so we'll have a database upon which to work, right?
Thanks, John.
And I'll back you up for whatever you need, but you gotta
I know.
add.
I appreciate it, John.
Okay, thanks. And by the way, there's one little item also. Since I'm not doing much with the website, which I try, but if anybody is interested in anything about the website, take a look at it and tell me what you'd like, or even if you'd like to participate in managing it. But as long as we hear nothing about it, I don't do a whole lot. I did every week when the rabbi gave us a preview of his sermon, but I haven't been doing that recently. But take a look at our website again and see, because that is something that is important for our temple, if anybody is interested.
John,
The question is, did those videos that I would make, did they get watched, or did anybody watch, or
I had no idea. I never got any feedback from it, and it certainly didn't seem to expand the attendance much.
Yeah.
Would it be all right if I made a couple of comments? I don't mean.
Yes,
to-
please, like it.
I think that I found out about Temple Israel via the website. So that is one member that came to you all that way. And
Uh-huh.
my experience was that before I became a member, I attended some services online, and that incentivized me to want to contribute in a deeper way. So that inviting people to join us for remote services may be a good way of helping people get to know the services that this group has to offer. So I think even if they're not paying right away, that's a good way to build community, which
I believe it says on there that you contact the president for access to Zoom if you'd like to attend. we do want to keep track of who is
Yeah.
joining us, and so but look at it again and see how it could be even better, rather than we're not putting the Zoom address on the website, though.
That makes sense.
It has to go through,
Right.
we have to know who it is.
Yeah.
They have a name and a phone number and an email address at least. But take a look at it and see how it could be even more inviting. Please, Summer. Thank you.
I may not have anything other to offer except my experience, which was that what was present was sufficient to help me find you all. But the last comment that I wanted to make was that I found the videos, the previews to be really helpful.
That's good. And now and should the rabbi be willing to do it again, they will be sent out.
I liked them. I appreciated them, Rabbi. They were helpful.
I'll do it. Nope, gladly. I just thought it didn't make any difference, so I stopped. But otherwise, I'll just call Summer and tell her what I think about the project.
Right.
Question,
Yes.
John, on the website, does it have to be a member of the board to manage the website?
No, there's no intrinsic requirement, because in fact, Edgardo at Brit Braja has been our advisor and helped us do it for sure. The only question is, and that kept happening, and there was always a matter of debate, which we just went down to the mats fighting about, is that everybody says, yes, we should have a wonderful website. We should do this, we should do that. But the problem is that nobody said anything that they wanted to see. And you can't just hire or find a volunteer to just do it.
Right.
Unless you know what you want to do. And that was our problem. And I could never get any feedback from somebody, anything anybody wanted to see, rather than yes, it should. And so any suggestions, I would love them, and I'll be glad to try and implement it. If somebody can look at it and say, I want to see this, rather than I want to see a superstar website. Because the superstar website is what we supposedly did, but getting input from our congregation was very, very difficult. But anyway, the short videos, they're put on there when I got them from the rabbi. They're on the website as well. And I'd be happy to do it again, should he get the urge to do it.
I'll do it.
Okay, that's good. Great. Are there any other issues that need to be addressed?
I just think that if this is your last board meeting that you are running it, we all want to thank you for your service and for everything you have done. And you're not dying, so don't make this long. I'll save some good thing to say about you at your funeral, but I hope it takes a long time as well. But right now,
it wouldn't take long. The few things you could say would not be worth saying, but that's okay. Thank you. And
I am grateful. And you know what? Deep down, I'm glad I didn't leave you in Cuba, even though they crossed my several times.
And I'm looking forward to inspiration and leadership from Gary.
Oh, one more thing.
Should he get elected, which we have to vote on.
I am trying to romance a few ministers to maybe do a trip together to Israel.
Okay. All right.
See what happens.
All right. Let's go to Israel.
John?
Yeah.
I think everybody really appreciates all the hard work that you put into for the last 3 years. I mean, you worked harder than any president I remember. And I know you gave it 150%. And it's very much appreciated, John.
Well, thank you very much. And I wish I could do more than just technical backup, but I think you can provide us the leadership we need. And that means inspiration for people to go out and dance in the streets and everything else, right?
I hope so. I need help.
Okay.
I would second Gary's comments, John.
Well-
Even though we haven't always agreed on everything.
Really?
On anything, in fact.
Well, I've learned a lot from you and I appreciate
Oh, yeah.
everything. I know I have. I don't say
Well-
these things lightly. And I appreciate everything you've done.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm beholden to the temple for the support it gives, and you got to put something in to get something out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So at any rate, is there a call for adjournment?
I call for adjournment.
Great. All in favor? Yep. Opposed? Shut up. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now